Hey there, what's going on? My name is Andrew Glover. I'm the founder of the Big Things Done podcast, and you're watching the Big Things Whiteboard series. Thank you very much for watching this video. I'm really excited to share with you something that I do every day to help me accomplish big things in my life, and that revolves around my task list every single day. Now, the task list or the to-do list, right? It seems really mundane. It seems really simple. Why am I talking about this? Because there's a very specific way that I go about listing out and tracking all of the tasks that I need to accomplish in a day in order to be successful. I don't know about you, but I'm a pretty busy person. I've got dental school, I've got businesses I'm running, I've got a podcast, I've got my family I need to take care of. I have so many things going around at any given time. Sometimes it's hard to, number one, just keep track of things, and number two, prioritize what I need to do and when I need to do them. So I have developed a task list approach that helps me prioritize my actions and make sure that I'm completing the things that I know I need to be completing in order for me to be successful. I don't go into my day whimsically kind of wondering, oh, what am I going to do today? I guess we'll see kind of what life throws at me. No, I go into my day with purpose and a very clear understanding of what my objectives are so that I can be successful in accomplishing my big things. Now, ideally, when I create my task list, I actually do this the night before the next day. And the reason for that is because I can think about and project into the future, what do I need to go do? Maybe I need to clean up some things from the day previous that I've just got done with, and maybe I need to carry those over to the next day. Regardless, when I wake up in the morning, I love having a list already drawn out for me, so there's no question about what I need to go do. You know, I don't have the excuse of, well, I'm just tired and I didn't think about that, or I forgot about it when I was sleeping, because I've already created my task list the night before. You know, in addition, there's just a sense of purpose and a sense of just momentum that gets me going when I've got that task list in front of me. Now, what do I use to actually record my task list? Let me show you. I use this thing called the Big Things Notebook. You might have heard of it. It's because I created it specifically to help me make my task list and keep it in front of me at all times. So this is my current copy. You can see it's kind of beat up, although it wears pretty well. This is a brand new copy, and you can pick these up on my website, bigthingsdonepodcast.com. And what they are, it's simply a 3x5 little notebook with about 50 pages. They're blank pages in there, and all they have is just space for you to write out your task list and help you accomplish everything you need to do and attack your day. The Big Things Notebook also has some pretty cool things in the middle. It's got a couple pieces of paper that talk you through how to prioritize your day. It talks about how to take ownership, how to do a kind of a pros and cons of yourself, and kind of doing a self-evaluation. There's some really cool tools in here as well that I've built in to the Big Things Notebook. Regardless, the Big Things Notebook is the way that I record and keep with me all of my tasks throughout the day. And it's nice because I can put it in my pocket, and when something comes up that I wasn't expecting and I say, hey, yeah, I'll send you that email, or yeah, I'll take care of that, right? I instantly whip out my notebook, write it down, and it's always there in front of me so I don't forget it. That's a great way to build credibility with people, is following through on the things you say that you're gonna do, even the small things. So, how do I build my task list every day? I wanna show you how. It's fairly straightforward. Excuse me, there's no magic to it, there's no secret sauce, but I want to show you how I approach it and why I do, so that way you can apply that in your life as well. So what I do to begin is I start with the date. Pretty obvious. All right, the date. Looks like I need a new marker here pretty soon. So I start with the date, and then I start with what I call my one thing. Now this is the one task out of everything I need to do. This is the most important task that I need to accomplish. My one thing, I call it the one thing because if I did nothing else in my day except this one thing, I could call that day a success. That's how I define that specific task. So it's extremely important, and obviously it gets very high priority. So I write OT for one thing. And let's say for me as a dental student, my one thing tomorrow is studying for an exam. So I'll just write that down, study for exam. So now I know that my entire day, no matter what else happens, I have to get this done. Pretty straightforward. Now I know I've got an objective I'm gonna go accomplish, and I think I have to structure everything else around my day around that one thing. Now after that, I'm going to write out all the additional tasks that I need to go accomplish, and I like to do this in prioritized order. So I'm going to write out things like my workout. I'm going to write out things like meetings, for example, or phone calls that I might have to take. Maybe I need to do some chores or run some errands. You know, we all got to do that, right? I'm going to write out all of these things typically in descending prioritized order. Now, it doesn't mean I'm going to go accomplish these one by one, right? But as I move through my day, I know that, hey, I still got to get my workout done, right? That's a pretty high priority. And if I'm juggling between how am I going to spend my next hour between a patient, for example, well, I'm going to look at my task list and say, well, workout's number one, so let's go do that first. That's typically how I do things. Now, I mentioned earlier when I was talking about the Big Things Notebook that sometimes you get a task that you weren't expecting in the middle of the day. Like, let's say, for example, I need to send an email, right? So send email, right? Now, the great thing about the task list is that sometimes, you know, even though they're in descending order, sometimes things get juggled around and your priorities change. So what I do sometimes is I'll go through and I'll reprioritize halfway through my day if I just am feeling overwhelmed and I'm just not sure what's going on. Or maybe my schedule changed, so I'll go through and I'll just prioritize. Say, okay, workout is number one, sending that email, yeah, that's number two, my meetings are number three, and let's say those chores are number four. Right? As I move through my day, not only am I keeping track of everything, but I'm prioritizing it. I'm being very intentional about how I spend my time and where I'm putting my mental energy. So guys, this is my task list approach. This is how I do it. There are a couple different variations of this that I've played around with as well. One of those is instead of listing out all of these different tasks and big and small things, just listing out 2, 3, or 4 main tasks that you have to get done. These can be more broad tasks, and these are the kind of more along the lines of the one thing principle, that no matter everything else that goes on in your day, the 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 things that you can reasonably accomplish in your day, those are the things you're going to have to go do. Anything else beyond that is just kind of pure luck if you remember it, or if it's something that maybe matters but not a whole lot. That's another way to approach it as well. My good friends in dental school, a lot of them, they just like to write out all of their tasks at once, and sometimes that just helps keep everything in line, and they don't necessarily prioritize it, but it seems to work for them. The main important point that I find in any to-do list or task list for me is writing everything down, having it in front of me, and then prioritizing my actions so I know what I need to do and when I need to do it. Guys, that's how I do my task list. I hope this helps you do your task list. Don't forget, if you're looking for some way to make your life better, the Big Things Notebook is an awesome resource. You can pick those up on my website, bigthingsdonepodcast.com. Best of luck getting your task list done, and until next time, keep doing big things.